Welcome back, this is Sandy with Sandy's Organized Chaos, and today we're going to be doing this weathered look tumbler. As always, I'll make sure to put everything I use today into the description box below so that way you guys can shop those items if you would like to. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and let's wake up, prep these tumblers, and slay all day. Let's do this. I've already prepped and primed my tumbler. I just use a deep navy for my base because I'm going to be using a deep navy glitter today. To adhere that glitter down to my surface, I'm going to be using Mod Podge as my glitter adhesive. You just really want to make sure that you load it up really well and then come back through and just kind of even everything out so that way there's not too many lumps and valleys in that glue. And working quickly because we don't want our glue to dry on us, I'm going to go ahead and lay down my glitter. I like to start at the bottom first and work my way around the rim and then just fill in the center with the rest. It seems like the bottom and the top rim always dry the fastest, so that's why I try to do those first. And the glitter I'm using today is called Blueberry Scone, and you can get that from socglitters.com if you would like to. Now, after I set this off to the side and let that glue dry, I am going to go ahead and apply 30 milliliters of epoxy over top of my raw glitter, giving me a nice smooth epoxy surface for what we need to do next. My tumbler is nicely cured, and now we're ready to add our paints over top, so that's why we are outside right now. I'll be doing 3 layers of paint, and each layer is going to be a different color. So the first layer I'm going to start with is red. And after I paint this on, I am going to let this dry for about 15 minutes. It is very hot here, so it really depends on your environment on how quick your paint dries, but you do want it somewhat dry in between each layer. The next layer will be a metallic silver. And again, just you want to fully coat each layer in between and make sure that it is nicely dry before the next layer. Then I'll end with a basic white spray paint. I will let this sit outside and fully dry for about an hour before I move on to the next step. If after you bring it back inside, it feels tacky and sticky and it's leaving fingerprints, you need to go ahead and let that sit overnight. It's just the humidity not working for you right there. So if you let it dry overnight, it won't be sticky and feel that way in the morning. So right there I was showing you 2 different types of fingernail polish removers. So one said 100% acetone and the other one is more like has minerals in it because it's tinted purple, and that's how you know it has more different stuff in it, like minerals and things like that. You don't want that one, and I'm going to show you why here in a second. So I'm going to work with that first. I'm going to show you how difficult it's going to make it to rub the paint away. It just basically doesn't want to come off because it's not 100% acetone. It just has those fillers in there to make it not work correctly. So it's almost going to be like the paint doesn't even want to come off and you're going to get frustrated. So that's how you're going to know that you accidentally got the wrong acetone. You want to make sure that it says 100% acetone. It doesn't have any of those extra fillers in it, and you'll know because it's just clear. It's not tinted any colors. So you just want to make sure that you do that whenever you're purchasing your acetone. So I'm just taking paper towels and I'm taking my acetone and I'm going to be making these big long tendrils coming from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. Now, however tightly you hold your paper towels, how big your lines will be. I don't mind so much that these are almost kind of messy looking. That's kind of what you want. We're going for a weathered look. So that's the reason why I like to do these big old tendrils all over the tumbler first, and then I come back through and I do the fine tuning with a smaller Q-tip. So as you've seen, my lines have mostly been vertical, so top to bottom, bottom to top. Now I'm going to start to go horizontal with my lines. So now I'm going to start connecting those vertical lines together. But I've always really liked this look because you honestly can't mess it up because it's supposed to look messed up, you know? So it's a fun look for anybody to do, I think. Now that my vertical and horizontal lines are done, and I did some distressing around the top and around the bottom as well, we are going to take our Q-tip and we're going to load it up with a little bit of our acetone, and we are going to start with just really fine tuning, coming in and just adding holes, and we're going to add little tendrils coming off of our bigger tendrils. But I think with any project, we have a tendency to overthink it, like, oh, there's not enough, oh, I'm doing too much. Don't do that to yourself. You're doing amazing. However this is turning out is exactly how it's supposed to turn out, and I know you guys got this. But the reason why I say that is because I did overanalyze this, and this process right here with the Q-tips took me about 40 minutes because I kept overthinking it. So just don't overthink it. Just get in there, just make your little squiggly lines here and there, make your little holes here and there, and she'll be just fine. Now, once you are all done, you may notice a kind of milky look to the glittered areas. That's okay. You're going to come through with a clean paper towel, some rubbing alcohol, and you're just going to gently buff away that milky look right off of your glitter. And then she'll be ready for some epoxy over top. Now, because I'm going for a summer in the USA type look, I am going to be adding some shooting stars into my epoxy. They are just holographic red, white, and blue stars. And once I apply my epoxy to my tumbler, I'm going to place it onto my turner, heat it up really good with my torch. And while that is curing, I'm going to go ahead and get my decals together. Using a college font, I'm going to go ahead and type up the quote I want to use. Then you want to go ahead and get it sized to the exact proportions you need it for your project. Once sized, you want to go ahead and apply an offset to your quote. I believe I ended up doing 0.056 in the end for this one. Now you want to go ahead and make sure that your quote is fully highlighted. I have to come out and come back in and highlight everything just to make sure. Then you're going to come down and you're going to slice. And once you have sliced, you're going to remove the gray area, but you're actually going to keep the gray because that will become our peekaboo for our quote. You're going to take the inner black portion here and you're just going to delete that. We don't need that. Now you're going to come to your outline here and you're going to want to apply another offset around that because I want to do a layered pinstriping look. So we're just going to do the same width that we did for the first one, 0.056. We're going to apply that. And now we have a double pinstripe look for our quote in the end. So for the peekaboo, you just want to use any type of vinyl that you just really don't care about because we got to trash it anyways in the end. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out with the top dark gray. The red will obviously be a red vinyl and then the silver, a metallic silver underneath of all that. So we are back and I want you to take a look. I removed the inside of the USA portion there. You can just stick those off to the side and save those for another project if you would like to, because we want the outside area for our peekaboo. So I'm going to go ahead and lay that down and get it burnished down really good so that way none of my paint gets seeped up underneath of the quote that I have going here. Then I'm going to go ahead and tape around the outside edges of my decal and I am going to give it a light coating of white spray paint. Then while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and stack up my pinstriping that I want to use for it. I'm going to go ahead and take the red and place that on top of the gray. Now earlier when I said just a light spray of that white spray paint, this is what I mean. You can still kind of see underneath what's going on. So the reason why we do that is because we're going to come through and we're going to distress our quote as well. Because I'm working with such a small area and it's a very light layer of paint, I am just going to use rubbing alcohol for this portion. We're going to do exactly like how we did with our base on our tumbler, and we are just going to distress our lettering. I was a little bit nervous when I first started doing this, but I so love how this turned out in the end. I think it's so cute and I can't wait to do it with more projects. Now, after everything's all said and done, we're going to go ahead and remove our tape and our vinyl. And I really had a hard decision here because I absolutely loved how that looked without the pinstriping, you know, so you could do either or, okay? But all I have left to do is add that pinstriping that we made. I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 final coats of epoxy, and she is good to go. Whether you take this design and duplicate it as is, or you take and let it inspire you to create something that is completely your own, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this tutorial today. Again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.